Hi guys, and welcome to week 4 of our distance learning. Today's lesson is actually going to revolve around money. Yes. But we're only going to look at some coins today. So we're going to look at some coin money. I'm hoping that maybe around your house, or if you ask your mommy or dad, they will have some coins in your house somewhere that you can use. You don't necessarily need to have all the coins. It would be helpful, but sometimes it's hard to find some of the coins. I've gone around my house, and luckily for me, I have all the coins here. And remember that our penny, we don't have a penny anymore. We just have our 5 coins here. And so we start with our smallest denomination, which is a nickel, which is worth 5 cents. That's this guy here. It's tough for you guys to see him. Maybe you can see that, hopefully. He's a beaver on there. And then our next denomination is actually a smaller coin, but he's worth a little bit more. He's a dime, and he's got a boat on him, a sailboat. And then the next one up is our caribou, which is on our quarter. He's worth 25 cents. And then we go up to our loonie, our big shiny loonie, and it has a bird on it, has a loon on it. And then we go all the way up to our $2 coin, which is our toonie, and it's got a polar bear on it. Okay, so I have found all the coins in my house. Now, here's a cool thing. You're going to need a piece of paper, preferably, you don't need a full sheet, but it's helpful. Just a single piece of paper. And what you're going to do is you're going to put the coin down on the table, and don't do it right in the middle of your paper, because you want to make sure you leave room for other ones. So I'm going to make sure that maybe just the top portion of mine is on top of that nickel. So it's right on top. You can see it's underneath my paper. And then I'm going to take a pencil or a crayon. Crayons work really well too. And I'm just going to color over it lightly. I'm not going to push hard. If I push hard, it won't work. So I'm just going to go over it very, very lightly. I'm going to make sure I have it under there. Yep, there it is. And I'm just going to go very, very lightly. And I'm just coloring over it. I'm coloring over it. I may have to push a little bit on it. And we want to make sure the coin doesn't slip around underneath. So I've got my fingers on either side of the coin so it doesn't move. And after I'm finished, if you guys can see that, you can see the beaver come through there. There's my nickel, which is worth 5 cents. Now I want you guys to repeat doing that with all of the coins. So I'm just going to quickly slip these underneath my paper, and I'm just going to go quickly, and I'm just going to scratch over top of them with my pencil here. I see my dime coming through, and I got to find the next one. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, there's my loonie. I'm seeing the loonie come through. And who's next, I wonder? Ah, that's my quarter. Now, a nice trick for you guys might be, so it doesn't slip around on the table, is maybe you want to tape them down. Or tape the paper down. So you can tape your paper down, or you can put your fingers on either side of the coin like this, like I'm doing. So I've got my fingers on one side and the other side of the coin, and I'm just holding the coin with my fingers as I go. Sometimes you can even put a finger on top and trace so it doesn't move around on you. But I am finished. There are all my coins. Now that I've got all the coins, and remember, I should say, when you put your coins down, I want you guys to put down so that the animal, whatever animal is on there, or the boat in the case of the dime, is facing up. So that when you trace over top of the coin, you get to see the animal or the boat. On the other side is the queen, and I don't think we need to trace and see the queen on all these. So I've got all of my coins traced. Now comes the fun part. Now I need to look at these coins, and if you look closely at some of them, they give you a pretty good hint. So I'm looking at this one. This is our toonie, and I want to know how much a toonie is worth. So I'm looking at it very closely, and it actually gives me a hint. There's a number on there. And I'm not looking at the side with the queen and all the printing and all the letters. I'm looking at the side with the polar bear. I think it's a polar bear. And I'm looking for something in there that gives me a hint of how much it's worth. Okay? And once I find that number, I'm just going to find where that coin is on my paper, and I'm going to print that number above it. So I know this one is worth 2. It's worth $2. $2. So it's 2, and then I'm going to put a little dot and then 2 zeros because it's worth $2. That says $2. Okay? And then we're going to work our way around. I am going to write down the rest of the ones that I have. So I've got all of mine labeled now with all of the values. Now, as for these little decimal points that I've put in, you guys don't have to do those. That's okay. If you just want to put down this is worth 5, just put a 5 above it because it's worth 5 cents. And I know exactly what you mean. It's okay. You don't have to put all these decimals and zeros. It's a bit crazy. Okay? So, today's lesson, I want you guys to find those coins. You're going to trace over those coins. You can use crayons, work really well. It's actually, pencils do as well, but crayons also work. Don't use markers though because they won't show up. The coin won't show up. And then I want you to label what they're worth by looking at the coin. It'll tell you on there. Don't get confused. Some of them have a year on there as well. Don't get confused. Look very, very closely. And if you need help from an adult, of course, ask them. And then you're going to label them on the paper. Okay? Putting the value of those coins above them. All right? Good luck with your lesson today, guys.